Hi, I'm Randy Cohen, the athletic trainer at the University of Arizona. I'm going to give you a tour of our hydrotherapy room and give you some tips of what you need to look at and do when you build one of these facilities. So first thing you need to have is an open area and open space. It's really nice to have a nice little secluded area so you can really do good patient care and really talk to them and they can hear you, and you don't have a lot of other distractions when they're concentrating on doing their hydrotherapy. When you put in your HydroWorx pools, you want to make sure that you have an area around them where you have good drainage. You want to make sure that you have large trench drains that circle them, because what happens is that when the water goes over the edges of the pool, you want to make sure that you have good drainage so you don't have water that stands in a place. They try to slope a room, but when you have multiple pools, it's very difficult to slope a floor to allow it to drain. So the more drains are the better. So really encourage wide drains, big areas, so there really is good drainage. The other thing you need to have is good lighting. Good lighting is important for overall care, and also to really kind of demonstrate and show your pools. Another important aspect to look at is your ventilation. Ventilation is very important, especially if you're in different environments. If you're in a very humid environment, you want to make sure that they have the proper air ventilation so the room isn't so stuffy that it becomes too hot. You'll have hot tubs. If you have hot tubs, they're going to generate a lot of heat, and you want to make sure those don't make your overall room too humid. Also, you want to make sure that the room has comfortable ventilation and circulation, so when you're exercising, you exercise somebody at a hard level and they're getting their heart rate up and they're getting their core temperature up, they're not overheating themselves by your room. Let's take a walk through the pool area and we'll show you kind of what we have and what we do. So if you look, we have nice large TVs over the top. These have the ability to actually put on TV if you have somebody who's doing some long conditioning, but they also have the ability to put on, put the pool cameras on, so you can have multiple angles. So you can look at 2 or 3 different angles at once. So your patient can look at a lower angle down below, or you as a practitioner don't have to look down. You can look up at the larger TV to make corrections on your patient. When you work your way through here, you want to make sure that your computers are in a place where they can stay dry. You want to make sure you don't have splashing in your computer areas. We have cabinets that they can close in. There's other areas of things you can do to cover up your computers to make sure those don't get wet. If we walk past this way, and we walk over to this side over here, you want to make sure that they create a walkway area in your highest volume area. So this is our cold tub, which gets a lot higher volume. We have a large walkway to the door. Another thing that we did, that if you come out this way of our facility and look your way out, our outside door is very close to our hydro room area. The reason for that is we didn't want people to have to walk all the way through our whole facility and be wet. So we thought about planning, put the hydrotherapy right by the door so they could walk out to go into their locker room or into a restroom area that they would need to change. So if you can do that, put that right by your door, that helps you, and it prevents people having to walk all the way through your facility and be wet. If you come down this way, we've created our hydrotherapy work area where all the pumps and chemical balancing and all that stuff is down below. We've created in our place actually a stairwell that you can walk down to get down there. So you can have a trap door, but we prefer, if you have the space, to put a stairwell on the walkway, because then you can actually get down there and work easier. You have more open space to do maintenance. If you have to fix anything, you're not trying to go down through a crawl space and climbing down a ladder. Sometimes that's the only way you're able to do it because of your facility makeup. But if you have the ability to put a stairwell, and that also gives you some added storage down there. We can kind of have some things that we store some of the hydrotherapy things down there. We store the railings down there. We can store the equipment you need to fix the pools. We can store that down there. Extra chemicals can be stored down there. So it also gives you a large area of storage that's much easier to get things in and out of the storage than climbing down a ladder. So that's our facility. And probably the last thing that we have in here that we don't have on because we're talking, but we have nice speakers in here. So we can have nice speakers, so it opens up and you can put music in here, so you can have also a nice environment that people enjoy being in here, especially getting into warm or cold tubs. You can have some nice music in the background. So those are our features that we have here that you need to look at when you're building a facility.